When I was in primary school, my best friend was from Albania. She invited me to her christening when we were in third grade, but my family had other plans. One day, a neighbor from the lower floors pulled me aside to ask why I played with her. Because she's the best playmate I ever had, I thought, but didn't talk back to an adult. Greek identity had already started to shape my world in ways that would affect my path, even my play. That tension between who we are told to be and who we actually are is what this book is about. Imagine waking up one morning to discover that you are apparently the mother of Western civilization, a civilization that until recently had regarded you as little more than an oriental backwater of the Ottoman Empire. We would serve as their esteemed ancestors if they helped us become modern Europeans. The challenge, however, was that neither side fully understood what these roles truly entailed. That's why Greeks developed what I call the identity toolbox, different historical selves for different audiences. Ancient Greece, when we need prestige. This is our gold plated visiting card. Even our tourism campaigns lean heavily on pristine white marble rather than the vibrant, messy reality of contemporary Greek life. Byzantine Greece, when we need religion or spiritual gravitas. Byzantine Greece haunts us every time the church bells ring. Greece under Ottoman rule, when we need to explain our problems. The Ottoman period becomes our convenient scapegoat, the explanation for any cultural trait that Western Europeans find distasteful. And these macro contradictions create very specific, very recognizable human types. The communist businessman who rails against exploitation while not paying his suppliers on time because the system doesn't protect honest business anyway. The revolutionary civil servant who joins the most secure state-controlled institution available, then spends decades complaining about the state. The Orthodox anarchist who maintains faith in divine order while rejecting every human authority, who breaks lower regulations in the name of higher principles. And then there's the heritage paradox, which works itself out in very domestic ways. One friend reached a standstill with her mother-in-law over a sofa. Each time she left the children in her care, the sofa was pulled under the window. Each time she returned, she moved it back against the wall. Her husband tried to mediate a conflict that dragged on for over a year. Of course, it wasn't about the sofa. It was about the invisible architecture of Greek family life, the scaffolding of obligation, inherited roles, and unspoken contracts shaping everything from career choices to marriage timing to furniture placement. And if family keeps you tethered from within, Greek culture keeps you performing from without, even when you've left. You're from Greece, why did you leave? The NHS nurse attempted awkward chit chat during blood testing. Greece was such a good weather. Why did you come here? I'd heard this British backhanded microaggression before. At the playground, other parents would pretend to be lovers of the Greek weather, all of this, just to ask me what kind of immigrant I was, and then decide whether they approved of my answer. I felt so compelled to keep advertising Greece that I started concocting conspiracy theories. We were all brainwashed by the Ministry of Tourism. They must have colluded with the British Council to ensure we'd speak just enough English to communicate with tourists, but not enough to emigrate and work outside the service sector. Our sentences would be limited to, you have to go to Greece. I have to go to Greece. Let's go to Greece. We would be trapped in this identity as if that was our sacred debt to our motherland. I knew this was a fantasy, but I still felt the weight of that obligation. Perhaps when you finish this book, you might find yourself asking not who's Greek and who's not, but whether being Greek is something you achieve or something you survive. The paradoxes remain, but now they are conscious. And consciousness, as every therapist knows, is where healing begins. The chaos doesn't need taming, it needs understanding. Not because I've arrived at the destination, but because I've walked far enough to describe the path. The paradoxes of Greek identity, anatomy of a living myth.